This is Pace the Nation.
When you climb up that hill, well, eventually you'll come down. If the wind's at your back, you never wear a frown. You're waiting on that second wind to begin to kick in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into Pace the Nation, broadcasting back here at Studio 1A in downtown Arlington, Virginia. We are in the heart of all things. That's Clarendon. Well, I'm in the heart of all things. That's Clarendon. I'm your host, Chris Farley, back again for episode number 266 across the county. My co-host, Julie Culley. Julie, what's up?
Is this ever going to get old? I mean, we're going to intro every single podcast with talking about being across the county from each
You're
other.
going to be in studio. Today didn't work out logistically. We don't need to get into all the logistics that had to happen to make this show happen, because there's a lot of things going on. We got Chris and Matt kind of working behind the scenes.
No one cares. We just need to deliver the content.
And no one cares about our kids' eye appointment, but there's a whole lot there too.
No.
But I'm hoping very soon that you will be in studio. But not this week. This week you are again in West Arlington. How you doing?
I'm great, Chris. I'm great. I'm great sweatshirt too. I guess
Thank
you're
you. We're gonna get
a
into
dead giveaway for anyone who's watching this.
Yeah,
as
we're
opposed
gonna
to
get
just
into
listening.
my sweatshirt and why I'm wearing a Sound Running sweatshirt. A very awesome, cool design, very comfortable sweatshirt that I'm wearing.
Where's
that you-
you must have left that sweatshirt for me somewhere in the house to wear too.
I'm sure our guest has a sweatshirt for you, for sure. We'll get into who our guest is. in
So
just-
I
just
didn't
a
get
minute.
one. Okay, got it. Okay, cool.
But we are well. Let's get into who our guest is. We're really excited to announce a partnership on the program today with Pacers Running and Sound Running. Sound Running is a series of race events. They also do some coaching. We've had the proprietor Jesse Williams on in the past. We also have his partner, who is a business coach and a product consultant, Craig Vanderoef. He's going to be joining us today on the program. He's the one who designed this sweatshirt and some apparel that we will be having at Pacers Running and on pacersrunning.com or runpacers.com. So that's really exciting.
And out in West Arlington too, when my stuff arrives.
Right. Yes. And your stuff
We'll
will
ask
be.
Craig. It might have just gotten slowed up in the mail or something.
Yeah, definitely. But they are doing big things, Julie. We've had Jesse on the program, so you guys know Jesse Williams. They're doing big things with running, kind of on the professional scene. Now, we talk a bit about the professional scene, but probably not our focus on the program. But we're gonna focus on that. I know that's a world you work in. Sound Running puts on these races for some of the best athletes in the world. They've got a series of races that Craig will talk about. But from your perspective, I was interested before we brought Craig on and what you do. Why do you think, it's so important for us to support these professional runners that are going to be competing in races like Sound Running?
Wow, putting me on the hot seat first
I am.
thing. I don't know if I've had enough coffee for this. I mean, the professional scene is supported by individuals like, Jesse getting after it with Sound Running. Putting on high performance track meets is a challenge. He's doing it completely differently. And it's a really, really neat environment that he's created for the pros. Having opportunities for, young budding semi-professionals, and then the high-end professionals, having a space, a controlled environment, someone who's making sure that the races are set up properly. We haven't had that before. And there's a huge,
Not in the States, right?
not necessarily in the States.
Like when you were running, you would always go overseas.
Yeah. So in the summers, it was like you left the US because there were no
Right.
opportunities. And
Yep.
what Jesse and his team have done is create a series in the US. So the athletes don't have to go overseas. because there actually just aren't that many opportunities. So if you're again like on the cusp of your career,
Hmm.
you want to have opportunities. And once the US championships would happen in June every year, people would either go overseas or hit the roads. So it's been really cool to have this opportunity. Jesse was working on this before, but certainly in the pandemic, this became even more significant when people couldn't travel internationally.
Yep.
So having this home series, he has races before the US championships, after the US championships, to prepare and really raise the level of competition within the states. It's just been awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let's bring him in. We've had Jesse on before. Now we're gonna have his one of his partners in the business. Now, again, Craig is a friend, a longtime friend, a college teammate of mine, and there he is. So let's bring him in. It's Craig Vanderoef, who is, for this purpose, he is a business coach and a product consultant for Sound Running. Craig, man, what's up? How are you? Nice sweatshirt.
I'm Chris. Yeah, I love the fact that you're already in product. Julie, that's weird because I feel like I have yours right here. Like, I mean,
Right.
I don't know why.
Unfortunately, you're not in West Arlington.
I thought we were. Yeah,
You're in the western part of the United States.
Yeah,
So we
see,
Yeah.
I saw West, and I just
Yeah.
misconstrued.
Right. So
I thought
Craig
you were
is-
out here already. Julie, you're on a very special VIP list to make sure you're getting the full seed pack.
Thank
from
you.
Sound Running.
Thank
So,
you.
we
She's-
want to make
Craig-
sure you're out here. You have everything.
She's gonna get the nicer stuff. She's gonna get the nicer stuff.
Yeah.
She's gonna get the full bouquet, as we
Right,
like to say.
right.
Not just one little thing.
Well, Craig, great to see you, man. Great to have you on. Thank you for the time. You are on the West Coast, and really appreciate you getting up early for us. I just want to set the audience up. College teammate, good friend of mine, from longer. We ran in college long time ago, longer than I'd like to admit. But we ran in Virginia together. You've worked in the running specialty industry at ASICS, at Brooks, at Adidas. Now you're working at Vans as the director of customization strategy, and also you're working very heavily with Jesse and the Sound Running. Did I set you up well enough? Is that
Wow, that was great.
Yeah.
I think we ran back when spikes didn't make you faster or taller.
Yes.
I like to now create my adjusted PRs. I think are much
Right.
much better. But yeah, running has always been a part of who I am. It's brought so much to me.
Mhm.
Meeting both of you. I was thinking back as we were prepping for this. I met Julie in Berlin at World Champs when she was there.
Wow.
And running it's been so special and so important to me, and I think it's given me everything. I joke about a career right now. Sound Running is how my career is staying with running, but I met my wife on the starting line of the LA Marathon. Running has been everything, and Sound Running is connected to that feeling and that understanding that I think only folks who have gone through it a little bit have seen. I loved when Julie talked about how hard it used to be and what
Right.
Sound Running is trying to do. And Jesse Williams was was living the problem for his athletes, right?
Mhm.
When he was at Brooks, he'd have an athlete do well at US champs but not have the standard,
Right.
or not have the chance to get into the race in Europe that they wanted to because they weren't fast enough. So they were in a B heat where they'd go run alone. The idea of Sound Running is closing that gap, right? Giving athletes the opportunity to be their best, to improve and inspire for the sport. And I don't know that everyone, the running boom has been huge. I don't know that the sport of track and field has gotten the love in that. Some amazing things have happened at Sound Running meets. Last year, I think over 30 women got the US Olympic trial standard
Wow.
at a Sound Running race, or as we like to call it, the field.
Mhm.
Right.
Field. There's been a national record at every track meet. Think about that. Like a national record, different countries out there, but across the distances, we've provided a place where folks can come in one of the most difficult years anybody's been through, the opportunity to come to Southern California, get perfect weather, the perfect day and perfect pacing, and just have the opportunity to be your best. And I think that to me has been what's been really amazing about Sound Running is this goal of improving, allowing athletes to improve and be inspired. And so, we're about the sport. And so it's been really fun.
So we are excited to announce the partnership of Pacers Running as the retail partner of the Sound Running series. But Sound Running, and you set it up really well there about the races, but it's more than just the races. I mean, we're wearing some really cool apparel. I do some coaching. So you put on races, you do some coaching, you make apparel. So it's really just, it's a full running brand, right?
I feel like it's becoming such. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're both wearing sunset hoodies. A lot of people say 2 out of 3 podcasters wear them.
Statistically.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just about the math, right? It's numbers. I'm in strategy now. We don't use numbers to get what we want. We use
Right.
numbers to see what they are. Sunset hoodies came out of exactly who we are, though. When we're putting on a meet, like it's Southern California, it's nice here. Like this glow is not from makeup. This is actually the sun's out.
Mine
here,
is from makeup. But
Oh,
thanks for
okay. No, but I mean, but you're working with a lot more than I am, right? Like let's just be honest. The idea is Southern California. We're a Southern California brand.
Okay.
So when you get done with a 10K out here, like the sun's setting, like you just need that most comfortable thing to throw on over to go do what's next. For us, typically, when we have athletes out, we make sure that our venues are close to somewhere to run the next morning where you get great views, you're on trails. We also try to make sure it's near an In-N-Out. Like people want to come out here and get a burger, and you don't want to go to. It is like the late Anthony Bourdain said the first thing he ever did when he arrived in LA was he went immediately to In-N-Out. Like it's a part of who we are. Like we're SoCal, and so nobody wants to go to that next thing in their running kit, right? Like it's
right.
like. And we've
gross.
all seen it.
No one
disgusting.
wants to be around you in that
Right.
running kit.
Yeah, it's like, and the kit's close to body and it just doesn't feel right. And so, you need that hoodie that's, lightweight, comfortable enough, easy to grab, but also just like it becomes a part of you. We're creating those favorites. So our first range sits in what we call our Inspire grouping. It's for fans of the sport. It's for before and after the sport. It's on the way, but it's also runnable. So everything has a little bit of the science behind it, but this is about comfort. And, so we'll launch pieces that, all of us have from Team Issue, right? Like,
Right.
I'm sure there's an old I literally still have the pair of Champion Virginia shorts that, we would pull on over our splits.
Yep.
And that sweatshirt, they get better with age. But not everyone does, right? So as a brand, when we saw, we started doing a couple pieces for people working the meets, and kids were just like, "Can I get that?"
Loving it.
And I think it blew our mind a little bit because we're like, "It's track meet, dude." And then what we realized was, it's a track meet, dude. That folks were excited. We just hosted the cross meet out at Mount Sac right after the West Regional. And kids were picking and pulling apart our gear for the next meet. They're like, "Can we have this?" Like, "Oh, we're not selling yet." And so by the end, our whole staff was without t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hats because you want fans to be excited. And that's when we say, are we a full-blown brand? Yeah, but our full-blown brand is about it's about the experiences of the sport. And
Eventually you'll come down.
I'm so excited. We needed a partner that could tell that story, that understood runners and running. And we're excited about track and field as well.
You're waiting on that second wind to begin. To kick in.
Same thing. We want our athletes to have the best running experience when they come to me, not just the 30 minutes on the track, or 27 or
Right.
26 did. 26 did, Don't
For
forget
some
the
of us, it was a lot shorter than that.
Right. Or yeah, for not 10Ks, not a lot shorter for 10Ks, but some of us, didn't
yeah,
run.
like 4 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Like you
right.
go out and everything was about that 4 minutes. One, we want to give you the chance to have the best 4 minutes you can.
Mhm.
But we want that is connected to, did I wake up somewhere I can run? Like I always look at Milrose, as kind of like super awesome. Must be amazing. But like, where do you warm up? In the halls? Like,
Mhm.
for us, you warm up like on a beautiful posh field surrounded by palm trees. It's not awful, right?
I'm going to make sure I'm going to work with Ryan and our team, and I'm out at all these places for these races that you guys are putting on.
March 5th to 10. Like
March 5th
look
is
at,
the first
yeah.
race. And we'll get into the specific dates.
Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
But I want to rewind a second here, because
You bet.
you are making awesome, really cool running apparel. And Craig was always the guy in college. Like, I was running in basketball shorts. He always had like cool running apparel. Like, we get
Was
these
there cool running apparel back
There
then?
was cool, believe it or not.
Well,
We're not that old,
For
Julie.
college
We're not that
guys,
old.
it was
He
just
found it.
split
He was
shorts.
always the guy who would have the cool stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. I still have that first. I hate to pitch, but let's call it dry fight. I think dry
Yep.
fit, dry fat. T-shirt I got from them. I've always been interested in apparel and how it's made. I had one of those moms that thought boys should know how to cook and sew and should be interested in that stuff. And I always loved better. And like that's, if you could boil down, like I wasn't as good as everybody else. Like, just full stop. Like I wasn't a super talented kid. I didn't come out like with a 410 PR. I was a grinder, and so the stuff seemed to matter. Like,
Right.
and so that was always important. And yes, like you dressed like the high school basketball player you were on runs. And I think
did. Yes. Yes.
absolutely. But there's something like when we talk about sound running apparel, the sweatshirt, the sunset hoodie, the cool down short, that cool down short is brought to life through that.
Yep.
It's the team issue stuff you love to run in. Like, yeah, Julia Wright, split shorts, right? It's like nothing says, like I love me.
Yeah.
A pair of split shorts.
Or I'm a high school or college runner, like a great
Exactly.
pair of split shorts.
Yeah. And getting into the car with them, or like going to a meal
That's why you
afterwards.
need these new shorts that you guys are putting out
Absolutely.
with sound. Cover up all the legs.
And you can
Let's keep it.
find all these at runpacers.com. When we launch this
Absolutely.
podcast, we will be launching the site as well.
Well, let's talk about the partnership, though. I want to hear more
Okay,
about what the partnership is.
we are going to be the retailer for them, and we're going to be selling. And we probably need Jesse and Ryan on this podcast for this part. But we are going to be selling all the sound running gear that Craig is making on runpacers.com. We're going to be at the meets. We may even, if Jesse allows and Craig allows, we may even be able to broadcast a podcast from one of the meets. So,
we love it.
Full-on retail partner.
Yeah, and I think the reason why is exactly what we just talked about. The Pacers offer isn't just selling stuff. Like, what I've always loved, and since you were just a little kid selling shoes at Pacers, we always talked about what would it look like if we did things our way. We weren't trying to force product on people. We were helping them have better runs through better solutions. And with sound running, we've just decided we're only going to work with people that want to do it the way we want to do it, and that's the way that's best for the athlete. And I'll say the runner, the athlete, not for runners and athletes, but for the runner and the athlete, really individualizing the experience and the opportunity. And when we were looking for a partner to do that, Pacers was the right partner. If you walk into a Pacers shop, you're important, not the sale, not the transactional, but you specifically are important. And the partners there are about solving the problem that you have, so you have a better run. And that's the same experience. So it just fit. That said, and you're a Virginia alum, like Come on.
I mean, all roads lead to Charlottesville, so
So
we'll
the-
just throw that out
Hey,
there on this
you
phone
said
call.
it. You said it.
and the first race will be March 5th, the 10.
March 5th, the 10.
Yep.
And
So
if you haven't seen, the field is incredible.
Yeah.
Every I think we have over 90% of the non-Africans from the Olympic 10K final.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
You know,
things are a little different this year, and Jesse got way out ahead of it with Sound Running and Craig as well as they were planning. So the 10K National Championship, for any of the track nerds who are listening to this, has been moved to Prefontaine weekend. So the World Championship team for the men's and women's 10K will be decided. I believe it's at the end of May or beginning of June. Is the Prefontaine meet. So it's separate from the U.S. Championship. So Jesse and Sound Running kind of got ahead of this and decided to put on. Well, they've had the 10 before, but the 10 has now become even more significant. It's called the 10 because it's 10Ks, and this is where people are going to be going for that U.S. and world standard. So that's coming up really fast.
so how do you feel about the 10K moving on to nationals? Out of me, Julie.
I actually don't think USA Track and Field's announced it yet, so I think
Okay.
that's the thing that's
Oh,
most
keep it-
confusing
All right, we're
for
breaking the
everybody.
news here on Pace the Nation. I
Yeah,
love it.
it's all like what people have heard. You can't really find information about it quite yet. So I think that's the biggest challenge to it. It's cool that we're doing something different, but I think the communication piece is lacking, which is challenging for coaches as they're coming into this time period and trying to cycle in, proper timing of when the athletes are going to be at their peak and at their best. So, but like you guys are doing, I'm all for trying something different. And, if it works, it could be a really cool experience for people to be maybe prime time on national television. So we'll see.
What a
So
great
sound-
political answer.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
no, that
I'm
was
getting
like
good at, I'm
that
getting
was
good at
up
this,
there.
Craig.
It's
Yeah,
sound
exactly.
it's soundrunning.run, and you'll find other information about the meets on that website, soundrunning.run. You can also find it at runpacers.com. March 5th is the 10. April 1st is the college invite. May 6th and 7th is the track meet. July 1, we get into the summer with an Under Armour Sunset Tour. July 8th, Under Armour Sunset Tour. And then December 1, Cross Championships in Austin, Texas. Again, soundrunning.run to check all that stuff out. And again, you'll be able to find the gear on runpacers.com. And I wanted because we talk about stuff that's important to me on this show and interesting to me.
I don't know if
And
you
I'm
listen
really
to the
interested
show, Craig, but it really is all about Chris. I
Right.
am here in
Well,
support of
I've been
Chris.
I've been about the Chris Farley show for a good
Yeah,
20
he's
some
known
odd
about that
years
for
now.
almost 30
I'm
years.
aware.
Right.
Good.
So I'm really interested in. So you have had numerous stops on your career at ASICS, at Brooks as product line manager, and then most recently at Adidas, you were the senior director of apparel at Adidas. I don't know if there's a way to give me a Cliff Notes version of, like, we see beautiful stuff show up that you've made on our sales floor. Like, how long, let me ask you this, how long does it take for a let's say a top that you were working on at Adidas, from concept to getting to our floor, just to give our audience some context? How long does that take?
Yeah, so the industry works
Years.
on it. Yeah, it works on an 18-month calendar.
Okay.
So from inception to sell through is about 18 months.
18
And
months.
so, you know, I don't think you're wrong, Julie, to say years. I will use a ridiculous example because I just feel like it illustrates it. If we're working at an event or, the Boston Marathon of old, if 3 people came into the booth and said, "Hey, I have 3 arms. I'm looking for a 3-arm t-shirt, 3 sleeves t-shirt," right? And the first person who comes in, you're like, "That is bizarre. Like,
Right.
I'm like, that is weird." The second person that comes in, you're like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And by the third person that comes in looking for that 3-sleeve tee, that's the opportunity,
Mhm.
right? And so you better start making that t-shirt because there's a consumer need. And the goal is better runs. So it's what's that problem we're trying to solve. So about 18 months out, you got to look at your problems and see what you're trying to solve.
You got to
That
predict the future, essentially. You got to predict the future, what the problems are in
uh,
2 years.
yes, yes.
Is
Not
there a
only
crystal
that,
ball back there
Yeah,
somewhere?
is
Try to
yeah,
see that.
at times yes, at times very much no.
right.
Magic 8 Ball sometimes I
Magic 8
think
Ball,
would
okay.
be a lot closer to it. Um, More importantly than just like seeing the future, you have to solve something in
Right.
that time, right? So then you're working with the design, you're creating a product brief of this is what it should be. Let's talk about our range. Like, hey, we're looking for a t-shirt that is comfortable to wear on, doesn't chafe, is easy, like doesn't stink, like all those problems runners have, right? Like I don't
Yep.
want my performance apparel smells bad, you know. Well, so we need to find a fabric that doesn't do that. It always rubs under my arms. Okay, so we need a design that moves the seams away from key places. So we go from there to a design, and then it has to be pleasing to the eye. Apparently, ugly doesn't sell. I've gotten that one wrong a few times, more than once. I will still say there are probably some camo shorts from Brooks at an outlet somewhere.
You were
That
before your
nobody
time with
bought.
that one. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, 100%. Like
Yeah.
at Adidas, it was our number one
Number
selling
one, right.
pattern.
Right.
At Brooks, it was they're available.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
Right.
available.
Right.
The 2001-ish range is still available. 20 years in
Yeah.
store. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
there's something to that. And then from there, you're going to a sample. So you got to get that fit right, right? A picture is great, but you have to go from 2D to 3D. And
Okay.
then you got to get them on people, right? And that's where I like to partner with shops like Pacers. We'd always preview. It's like, hey, here's what we're thinking. Here's where we're going. And because what's selling. Like you're so much closer to the consumer than I
Mhm.
was in Bavaria.
Right.
In a small town surrounded by cornfields and Puma. That was what's across the
Right.
street from Adidas. And so after that, you start that wear test process, and you've got to listen and know. I always think you have to wear tests with people a little bit, because if I'm complaining about it or you're complaining about it, is it you or is it the product? And
Mhm.
so when you get to about 12 months out, you're finalizing like fit, color, and then we're going to folks like yourselves at the store and saying, buy it. We've solved the
Yep.
problem. And then it jumps. If we go to production, about 4 months out, it's on a boat.
Okay.
And right now, that probably means stuck in either the port of Los Angeles or in the Suez Canal, on a ship, backed up for months. You got to ship it. You got to get it to the store, and then you're telling the story. So that's the product process, but the story has to come across. Like, how does the runner find out that we just solved the problem? How do you know that the iPhone has been like one of the greatest nightmares to running apparel in the last 10, 15
That's a
years, because
good point. Yeah.
they keep changing the damn size.
Nice.
So you
Right.
build a pocket 18 months out,
Right.
and then Jobs and his friends come out and they make it's
Right.
bigger. Damn it.
That's an interesting one. I didn't think
Doesn't
about
fit.
those factors. Yeah.
And or keys even, like a key pocket switched from something where you had to worry about a metal something to a key card to,
Or
now.
fob or
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And so all of those things are happening. I hate that 18 months. I think you
Okay.
miss everything. So at Sound Running, we're trying to cut that down
Hmm.
to about 6 months. We're trying to solve your actual problems in the now, not in the future. And
6 months. So this sweatshirt, this awesome sweatshirt that I'm wearing, you started maybe 6 months ago on.
yeah, actually, we went much faster on this range.
Wow. Okay. So you can be much faster at a smaller, more niche company then.
We're agile,
Yeah.
Um, again, we cut out all the BS. Like,
Mhm.
what did we want in a sweatshirt? What did runners want in a sweatshirt? We went back to our favorites. We did something else that's really different, and I know you'll ask about it at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But
No, please jump into it.
there's a paradigm shift that we're working on at Sound Running, and that's we're going past men's and women's sizing to
Okay.
a concept that we're calling athlete sizing. And athlete sizing moves past the preconceived notion of men's and women's apparel to create apparel that's built for the athlete's body and desired outcome.
All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, I love
You
it.
bet.
What's the difference between athlete sizing and unisex sizing?
Oh, unisex is men's sizing that they offer to women. That's that. So unisex is men's. Like if
Okay,
anybody ever,
yeah.
unisex literally means one sex.
All right, so Craig's telling us the secrets now. Okay, so that's really what it was from the
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay,
Absolutely. And I guarantee you, Julie can tell you that if she's ever gotten anything unisex, she's like,
right,
this
Lots of
doesn't
things.
fit me. Right?
Yeah.
right.
Like you get it.
We're
And
still doing it with high performance footwear. I mean,
absolutely.
it's men's sizing. So
Yep.
jump in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, but it's men's sizing even is such a, it's just, it's painting with such a wide brush,
Mhm.
right? The idea of athlete sizing is let's look at the athlete's body, not at athletes, at the athlete's body, apostrophe S, and really let them, based on how their body is built, find the fit that works best for their body. At a running specialty level, you know, this we're not talking runner sizing because everybody gets scared it's going to be made for, you know, the us at like
Right.
our peak weight when we were
Right.
like bumping into things and making clanking noises. You know, it's not about that.
For
It's
skinny
about
people. Right. Right.
yeah, you know, like, everybody's skinny and tall and perfect. It's like exactly. It doesn't take
Right.
much
That's
either,
the
right?
real world. Right.
Yeah, it's like I still can't drink regular soda to this day because I'm worried about how I'll look in a pair of split shorts that I haven't worn in 20 years. Um,
I doubt-
kidding.
I doubt.
It's been 18. You know, but the key was like as we looked at it, you know, certain people wanted certain fits, and so it's really about being inclusive. And when I say inclusive, I mean inclusive. Like you go to find the product that fits your body type, not like on the you know, unisex is shrink it and pink it, right? So we
Mhm.
weren't going to do that. Just make men's product that then we handed to women and said, here you go, it's pink. By the way, pink's a great color for men or women. But like we also weren't going to make women's product that was built on an unrealistic body image. Like we wanted to make product that when you walked in, based on your body measurement, you could find products that fit you, that fit the shape of your body, standing still and in motion. So across two different ranges. So going back to what we've talked about the whole time, inspire. So those are things that you wear around sport or to sport, and then you know, improve. You know, and so improved products will be products you wear on the run. We're really excited to be launching that with Pacers because it is going to be about walking the consumer through a customized fit for their run.
So
Hold
do
on.
you think do you think the consumer is ready for this? I love the concept. Do you think the consumer is ready at this point in time in our world? Is the consumer ready for this?
The consumer's already doing it. Like this is where I'm going to take credit for an idea that is not new, right? Like I'm just
Okay.
going to wrap it, package it, and go. You're telling me you've never grabbed a product that isn't like built for your gender, like malarkey.
Yeah.
Right.
Boyfriend fit jeans, like the sweatshirts especially. Like I feel like I buy sweatshirts for my wife to co-opt and steal. Like it's
Mhm.
like you know, and you know, we were just in downtown LA, and I got up to go for a run, and it's like it was freezing. It was like 51 degrees. I mean, we almost died.
Poor
And
you.
yeah, it was awful. And I had only packed a short sleeve and like shorts, like, and I was gonna die out there. Exposure, like, but she's like, oh, I have, you know, a merino long sleeve that I have in my bag. You can borrow that. And I was like, oh, great. Now, what does it matter what the size was? It fit my body well. It was going to do all the performance things I needed. And so I built the right outfit or performance set for me to have a good run.
Hmm.
Now, what size was inside the label? Why does that matter? what gender was like added to it before. That's not it. It's how we customize based on the pieces we have to create the best running experience. So are people ready for it? Absolutely, because they're already doing it.
Okay.
Now we're going to facilitate that with a plan. So it's not haphazard. The way we're building the whole range is to be layered and used specifically for you before the run, during the run, and after.
So how does someone come to the product and find the proper fit?
Absolutely. We start with favorites. So you got a favorite t-shirt, Julie?
Yes, I do.
Of course.
You do? Okay.
You've got
right?
plenty
You have
of Brooks. She loves all her Brooks.
Are you talking about
Yeah.
performance or are you talking about t-shirt?
either. Here's
Yeah,
what's cool.
I have a favorite
Either.
t-shirt. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start with your favorite t-shirt. Now, there's two ways into it. We have the I own a tape measure and I don't own a tape measure, right? Like measure your garment. Like that easy. Like because one, those letters that people put inside garments show no consistency across the board. I feel like Bezos and company like have ruined the world with free return shipping. Everybody
Right.
orders 2 to 3 because they have no idea what they're going to get. We're going to work off the measurement of the garment, right? So if you take your favorite t-shirt with 2 quick measurements, length and width, we're going to give you a starting point, right?
Cool.
So we're going to set that up. So if it's, it's 30 and 17, then you're going to wear do the math quickly. You're going to wear an S, not a small, an S, because it's not necessarily small. We didn't want to go too far from what the consumer knew,
Right.
but we wanted to make sure it's like, you're going to try that on. In store, we're going to take that and say, you should go to the dressing room with that and either the size above or below. How do you pick above or below? Do you want it to fit snugly or do you like it a little looser? Really starting with what the athlete wants and needs. So you start with your favorite and go from there.
There's this shirt that I actually love. There's a shirt. It's not a running shirt. It's this company, Good Life. I love their fit, but I can't find it in another. Can you make me a Good Life shirt? That's a running shirt.
I was gonna say, you don't just love the like fun graphics of like stick figure
Well,
dogs with frisbees.
I do love the fun graphics that make me look about 20 years younger, or like I try to be 20 years younger.
Yeah. Carded every time.
but I like that idea because that fit, I'm trying to duplicate in my running stuff.
Absolutely, and that's where it starts, Chris. Is I have my favorite. Why are we trying to force people into like we're going to force them into a part of the store by gender? Then we're going to force them into a fit by like conventional means instead of this is what I like. This is what feels comfortable to me. And really the individual athlete. So when we start with the favorite, we actually get to the place much, much faster. Like, I don't know, have you gone shopping for jeans in the last 5 years? Like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, and every brand, even the inside the brands themselves, they have different cuts.
Absolutely.
Like the same size is not the same size from one cut to the next.
No, it's
very
it's
confusing.
a 3, not a 2, and it's a too slim X, Y, like, and it's like, holy crap. Like there's too much. And then, and then is a boyfriend jean a women's jean or a men's jean?
Right.
And why is a boyfriend jean not just a men's jean? And where do we go? So athlete sizing tries to. So I don't know if we're allowed to swear on the show. So
Swear, go do
swear.
it.
So
We'll bleep
fuck all that.
Yeah.
Like, just stop. This is, think of it again. When you're coming for an event with us, we're going to put you somewhere where we solve your problems in advance. The hotel's near where you're going to run. There's going to be someplace great to eat, and you're going to get to experience Southern California as you go.
I love it.
We're going to get rid of the, I don't know what size, I don't know what I should wear, or, hey, let's go one more. We've had a conversation in the running industry about women's plus sizing for the last 25 years that I've been a part of it.
Yep.
It never works.
Never.
Why not? Well, because why are we like, it's a bigger size, but it's her size, right? Like, or it's her size. Why should she have to go to a men's section to get it and feel intimidated by that? She shouldn't. She should get the product that fits her body size and type. And that's what athlete sizing is. She's going to be able to go in and say, my favorite tight is this long. I need this much waist. Cool. That's a XL or a 2XL. And it's like, but that's it. Like, I don't have to be someone else. She's going to be able to layer that with a short on top of it, and athlete sizing is about that, and, those concerns we had about split shorts, they might have that concern about their body just going out to work out. So she's going to take something like this first range and she's going to pull a cool down short up over her tight and feel great. She's going to feel great and comfortable and confident. And that's what it's about.
So when someone goes on runpacers.com and they're going to be looking at sound running product
Yep.
in
You'll have
the
a landing page for sound running. Yep.
so how many different sizes will be available for
Where the
each of
sizes
these
range?
for each of these
Yeah.
pieces?
So all of the products range from 2XS up through 3XL.
Okay.
So a lot of sizes in there, and a lot of shapes, and a lot of body types. And so you're going to be able to find your fit.
And when people are at a sound running event, will there be some sort of activation there with the new product that you guys have that, you're going to be able to help people get fit for product?
Absolutely. So we'll always have a size range there. Our Pacers partners will be doing that.
Yep.
But again, in trying to do things differently, most of the people are coming to our events from somewhere else. So we'll actually send them directly to the Run Pacer site so they can order and ship to home. So again, thinking about that concierge type experience, they're going to be able to try on, order, and fly home with that same carry-on they had and be comfortable. And I think at some of our bigger events like Sunset, you'll be able to get products on site and go with them. And limited edition products, what we're pretty excited about. We love the idea of the track meet. Just as it's a cool thing to have on your shirt. Pick
really
what
cool.
the track meet is. Like Sunset, like we're playing with Sunset. Everything you get from us is going to be based in who we are in SoCal. And so it's going to be really fun.
Well, I believe in you, man. I think you're one of the smartest minds here in this space. Often misunderstood, maybe because of your terrible jokes. But I
don't know if they're terrible. I think if I had kids, I'd be the greatest dad joke guy out there.
I think you're onto something, man. And I believe in this, and I'm really excited about the partnership. It's soundrunning.run, runpacers.com. You can find all that information. We launch officially this podcast now as we record here. It is the 16th of February. We launch really on February 22nd. Officially launched February 22nd. This podcast will come out a day early on February 21st. So you'll find that stuff up there on the site, runpacers.com, February 22nd, a day from now. Or if you're listening to it later in the week, it's probably already there. So Craig, before we get you out of here, so how far are you going to take this thing? What's next for you? Is this, I know you're working at Vans, you're busy, you're running, you're playing lacrosse, you're doing all these things. You're a Renaissance man, Renaissance man on some level here. Where are you going to take this thing? What's next for you?
I think it's, you asked an interesting question when we kind of pitched the idea. You're like, why don't you take this to somebody else? Like,
I did.
Why don't you give this to someone else? And I think my response was, you're like, why don't you take it to one of the bigger brands? Because we are the next big brand. We're going to be what it is. And when I say I include Pacers with Sound Running. I feel we are going to service runners in a way they have not seen out in the industry. We're going to give them the best running experience through great products, through great shopping experiences, through the expertise and partnership. I feel what's coming next is running apparel and events for the athlete. And we're going to continue to improve that experience and inspire the next one. It's better runs. So, this is it.
Okay.
I feel bad that Julie wasn't wearing the sweatshirt today because this is probably going to be like
That's on me,
archived. People are going to be talking about it.
I want, if there's special edition gear coming out, I
She
think I
wants
need
that.
to be
She
on the
wants the
front
special
end
stuff.
of
Yeah.
the
Absolutely.
when Craig
Absolutely.
Vanderoef has it on, Julie Culley also has to have it on.
Needs to.
Truth. Like truth. And like egg on my face on that. I put the
I've
responsibility
got
with Chris.
15
I put the
sweatshirts sitting here that I could have gotten her. That's on me.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on.
that was my mistake, was I left the
Yeah.
responsibility with you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, that's totally me. Also, Julie, if ever you see like an autographed version of Once a Runner sitting
Mhm.
around the house, like
Yeah.
that I lent to Chris some 20 some odd years ago, it's probably crumpled because it was under the back seat of a Geo Tracker, but like I'd love that back at some
True story.
point.
True story.
True
Okay.
Okay,
story.
I will be on the lookout. We are
But
moving
yeah,
this.
we're
We're
going to
moving this summer, Craig. So there's going to be a
Oh,
lot of
geez.
sifting through things. So
Okay.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, so give
I
us the
actually
new
might hold it
address.
ransom until I get what I need, though. Okay.
Well, and that's why you're the powerful person you are.
Yeah, true.
Give nothing, earn everything. Yeah, absolutely. No, but it's going to be great, and I think it's going to be great because we're building it organically for the athlete with people who all share our vision for them. And so, Sound Running, Jesse built something that is an amazing experience for the athlete, and now we're giving that experience through coaching, consulting, and product to the consumer.
It's a whole brand. All right, that's Craig Vanderoef. He's a business coach, product consultant for Sound Running. Amongst many other things, apparel lead.
Renaissance man, Chris. Just
Renaissance,
say it.
yeah.
Renaissance man. I mean, he's maybe the podcast guy for the brand. I don't know, a lot of things, but
We haven't branched out to podcast on our own because we feel Pace the Nation really is speaking to our consumer in a way that we don't need.
Like, you don't
there's
need
no
to.
need for two.
We got you that.
There can be only one.
Yes. Yes. All right, Craig, man, it's been great to catch up. Thanks so much for your time. Thank you for getting up so early on the West Coast. This was awesome. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all you're doing. This is awesome.
All right. Great to see everybody. Appreciate the time. Go Pacers,
there you go.
go
That's
Sound Running.
Craig Vanderoef. He's the business coach and product consultant for Sound Running. He joined us on Pace the Nation. We're going to take a quick break and be right back after this.
Pace the Nation is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 6 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running.
All right, welcome back to the program, and thanks again to our buddy Craig Vanderoef for joining us today on Pace the Nation. I pull these official titles from LinkedIn, Julie, from most of our guests, and his
I
LinkedIn.
didn't expect that you were actually going to remember all those titles off the top of your head. I was like,
business
wow.
coach, product consultant. But he's, I think product director. I'm going to call him product director, Renaissance man.
I mean, just make it up. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But anyways, it's great to have Craig on the program. Exciting stuff. And I really am digging the concept of athlete sizing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
really
a
cool.
big question or a big topic out there. And I think the way that Sound Running and Pacers will come at it is a really good solution.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Craig essentially said, is like you have to define the problem, right? What is the problem, and then figure out how to solve for it. And so I think this has been a cool collaboration between Pacers and Sound, and I'm really excited to see. So I think the one thing we didn't do on the front end of the conversation was say, like, this is custom made apparel. Okay. So it's not like a Gildan sweatshirt that we're like repurposing and sticking a logo on. Like, Craig is sourcing and building and creating and designing.
He's got relationships with factories to make this stuff.
It's really incredible. So it's completely new concepting and brand new. And I mean, geez, are we heading
its
into
own
the
brand.
apparel space? It's pretty
Yeah,
neat.
I don't know. Well, he is. And
He
we're
is.
we're gonna
Yeah.
be along for
We're
the ride.
supporting.
We're
Yeah.
gonna be
We're
along
in
for
the
the ride.
supporting role. Just
Like
clapping. Keep it up.
he said, his dad taught him to sew. My
Is that
dad
his
didn't.
dad or his mom? I think
His
it's probably
mom. I think his
Yeah.
mom taught him to sew.
Sew and cook.
Yeah.
Man, I
Yeah.
am missing out.
You missed
Where are your skills?
Yeah, I got other skills. I don't know. We're trying to figure out what they are. So anyway, the meets are super cool. They're coming up. March 5th is the first meet. Again, find all that information about Sound Running on soundrunning.run. And again, we don't talk a ton about we have some professional athletes on here, but that's not a real focus all the time of Pace the Nation, what's happening in that world. But since we are talking about Sound Running, I wanted to close the show with some interesting stuff that happened over the last couple of weeks. I wanted to bring up this tweet from Nick Willis. This was incredible to me. He said 79 men have now run under 4 minutes in the mile this season, which is just absolutely incredible to me. I mean, it's February and they've
Yeah.
run 79 different individuals have run under 4 minutes. Like breaking a 4-minute mile in college was a big deal back when Craig and I were running. Now you're younger than us, so back when you were running, maybe it wasn't as big of a deal, but
Still is. You're not that much older than me, but
it's incredible where this thing has come.
yeah, I think the stat on the NCAA right now, so that the NCAA Indoor Championship takes 16 athletes, the top 16 by time in each event. And I think right now you have to have run 3:56 or faster to be in the top 16. And we still have weeks left of
Crazy.
conference championships to come. And I mean, it may be 3:55 or faster that makes it into the meet, which is just unbelievable.
And I bring up the mile because it's happening all over. It's not just the men's mile; it's the women's races too. I bring up the mile because everybody knows about the 4-minute mile, right? Or at least probably has run a mile at some point in their life. So on the women's side as well, I mean, what the professionals are doing, and some of these professionals you will be able to see at these Sound Running meets. I mean, the 5K American record was just broke.
The North American record, the Canadian record, all in the same race this past weekend. The men's 5K record was also broken this past weekend. The Canadian record was broken, the British record, all in the same race. So yeah, I mean, product is a big part of that. I think
footwear, big part.
Yeah,
Yep.
footwear is a big part of that. We're in the super shoe era for anyone who follows that closely.
Yeah.
But it is just incredible because I think the product has gotten us to a certain place, but then the attitude and the real camaraderie and pushing of the threshold because technology is on your side. There is a psychological component to that too. That's pretty powerful. So it's an interesting time in the sport. It really is. Hopefully we get a little bit away from some of these time trialing situations that seem to be happening, which is fairly popular indoors. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing a lot more head-to-head competition at Sound Running this spring, and heading into championship season now for indoors. So, but it is it's mind-blowing. And I think people are trying to wrap their heads around it and run some statistics and try to figure out what is actually happening. Because technology is a big part of it, but I don't think it's all of it.
And I'll just say as we're about to get out of here, I mean, it's exciting though. Like you and I, we'll get our kids to try to watch some of these track meets on the weekend. Like we are excited to tune in to watch Milrose and some of these other races. So,
well, I'm excited to tune in and watch the Brooks Beast. So,
right,
and and the rest of our Brooks athletes, the Hansons, and some of our crews.
I urge some of our listeners who maybe haven't sampled it. Sound Running will be on ESPN. I'm not sure what ESPN because I think there's a couple ESPNs, but they do have some races on ESPN. So, if you haven't watched any of the professional meets, this is the time to tune in. And we're proud to be a sponsor and a partner with Sound Running moving forward in 2022. All right, we got through it. I hope the boys got to their eye appointments. Okay. Any
Everything's okay.
feedback on that?
No, I think we're okay so far.
All right, and like you said, no one cares anyway. But that's what's happening in our life. But hopefully, everything was good there, and their eyes are working properly. All right. Well, thanks to our guest today, my college teammate who is leading up apparel at Sound Running, Craig Vanderoef. He joined us today on Pace Nation. Great stuff. You can find Sound Running on all social media platforms at Sound Running. So check them out. He's working with Jesse Williams and Sound Running and was awesome on Pace Nation today.
And thank you to both of you for not diving too deep into stories of the past and the good old days
Thank you.
The revisionist history that happens when you're 20 plus
You
years.
thought that was going to be.
And
you thought that was going to be half the podcast.
I feel very thankful.
Yeah.
So I survived. Thanks, guys.
You did. We showed some discipline, Craig and I. So nice work there. All right, that's Julie Culley. I'm Chris Farley. This is Pace Nation. We'll see you in 2 weeks.